GM, everyone. Welcome to another Craig and Greeny show. How are you today, Craig?
Yeah, buddy, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Had a frustrating morning, but we move on. We get through those things. Mate, 94K last night as we were kind of going to bed. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, I was pretty stoked. I see you were up pretty late as well. I was doing the
Yeah.
same. I sort of saw the chart pumping. I got to what, 94, 6, 800, something around there.
Nearly 95.
Nearly 95. I was kind of really wanting to see the 95 admittedly. But no, happy days. I guess the unhappy days for people is while Bitcoin's doing that, the big memes and the altcoins are kind of bleeding a little bit. So I think there's going to be two types of people out there. People that are heavy in Bitcoin, probably quite happy. People that are heavy in alts and memes at the moment are probably feeling a little bit exposed to Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like we'll unpack this because we'll definitely go to the trenches later, but the trenches are a little bit slow. I noticed last night I did a stream, and then this morning they haven't been as hot as well because obviously we've had some absolute insane runs over the past week or two. So it's important to understand where macro is for your trenches play as well. So we'll be looking at that as well. But GM to Jacob, Skibrudy, thanks for tuning in. Legend, thanks for tuning in. Ronnie, thanks for being here. Gervs, thanks for being here, legend. C Oz G, thanks for being here, legend as well. Miro, thanks for being here. Much appreciated. Timmy, thanks for tuning in as well. Timmy, appreciate it. Yeah, so Craig, we'll dive straight into macro because I think it's really important.
Yeah,
I know that you were posting a bit this morning in the groups. Do you want to elaborate on what people are saying there as well? What you were saying to those people in the groups this morning as well about your BTC targets and where we currently are in the market and those sorts of things.
Yeah, so do you mean my post last night where I spoke about? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so yesterday, well, when Bitcoin pumped to about 95K, I put a post up in our Discords and things like that, just reminding, well, my targets sort of are between 100K and 120K for Bitcoin. So with that in mind, I just wanted to remind people that we're only about 20% off that now. So I think the thing that sort of rings quite loudly in my head is, for me, there's about 20% left in the move. Look, it might be more, but I'm just trying to keep myself sober while the timeline's going euphoric as fuck on Chill Guy and normies and all this shit happening and coming in. So I just reminded people that typically in bull runs, 80% of the move's done in 20% of the time, which I think is important to understand just from the point of view of you've got to take profits aggressively. Otherwise, you might be having to sit on your hands for 80% of the run versus scaling out, take your profits, which I'm really glad I did because obviously we're seeing alts pull back hard. We saw memes pull back hard. So when Pepe had that big run, when Mog had that big run, that was really the time, unless you're willing to sit in it for another 6 months or so, or I don't know, take profits. And now I'm in a buying mood. I bought a little bit more Mog today.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a good 30% down from where I sold. So, for me, that was a nice saving. But that was sort of the moral of the story. There's about 20% left in the move. I took a little bit more off the table last night at 95.
Yeah.
When I say that, I know people tend to freak out. Once again, it was a micro. I think it was 5%.
Yeah.
5% I took off. So tiny, man. Just enough. I just wanted to take enough off again, to test myself that I can sell into all-time highs. Really important I think for people to prove to themselves they can sell. I remember in 21 in the bull run, I told myself I would. And I remember in those euphoric times, I got so caught up and drunk in the euphoria, clicking sells hard, man. I don't know what you were like back. You're a cycle ahead of me, Greenie. So I think you're about, you're probably a little bit older and wiser than me. But certainly last run, it was hard to hit sell because
absolutely. You get so caught up in, you're right. That was extremely well said. And I agree. Like you get so caught up in the euphoria of everything, right? You get greedy for higher where like we've been in now. Yeah. So I'm 3 cycles in. I've had 2 cycles of just like round tripping, losing to scams, blah, blah, blah. And you just learn, okay, you're never going to time the top. You're never going to time the top as much as you want to. You're not going to time the top. So have a system in place. And like you said, we went live, was it last week? And we said, guys, we've taken some profits on Pepe and Mog. And and that's fine. And like you said, it's only a small percentage. And I sold actually 12.5% of my Bitcoin last week as well. And I think I've got another take profit at 98K if we get there as well. So you've got to have a system in place. And I still think we go deep into 2025, but I still think you need to be aware of, like you said, can you actually click sell? Can you click sell? Because so many people probably can't click sell, and that's their problem. And then I've seen people in the groups this morning just asking, "Oh, I regret not taking some more profit on like Mog or Pepe last week." And I'm like,
every time.
We kind of told you to do that, like to just de-risk and de-risk back into stables or de-risk into fiat or de-risk into Bitcoin, whatever it is you want to do. Have a plan in place, because that's it. Like when you see Mog go from 300 million to, like, I mean, I could pull up the chart, but like, if you see like Mog go from 300 million down here, right? 300 million to a billion, 1.15 billion in the space of 2 months. Like, of course, it's going to cool down for a bit. Of course, it's cool down. So, yeah, it's really interesting you said that. Like, I haven't looked at Pepe either, because I just know I'm happy holding, and I de-risked a bit of it actually the other day as well. And it's down 4 billion.
Yeah.
4 billion. And that's what I mean. Like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So just take profits into pumps. Like, that's the key.
Yeah, totally agree. There's a comment here by Jumpmaster. It's a good question. Hey, Legends, if your BTC target is 100 to 120K, does that still leave runway for memes? Yeah, it does. And I don't want to freak people out by saying what I just did. There is a lot of runway for memes and alts to run. And that will happen when, Bitcoin dominance actually pulls back a little bit. It's going to be at 60, 61%. Maybe it might be higher at the moment. I don't know what it's sitting at. Yeah. But yes, the runway for memes and alts, I think, there's still plenty of time. For me, the reason I took profit on Bitcoin is mainly because me personally, I think there's 20%, there's not only 20% left in it. So if there's 20% left in it, but a year of the bull run, I don't want to be sitting in it for a year to squeeze out 20%, to maybe get 20% more profit. I'd rather take a little bit off now. Because the thing was, last bull run, when it hit 69K, everyone was convinced it was going to 100, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how many took profit at 69K. I didn't. I took profit at about 55 when it started dumping. So I just remember what it's like. And we spoke about this last week. And the issue in bull runs is if Bitcoin has a pullback, it can actually pull back for a good 6 months, which happened last run. Oh, sorry, and then go back to all-time high again. So you can end up sort of getting stuck in no man's land for 6 months, and I just didn't want that to happen. So I went into a bit of stables. If the market shits itself now, at least I can say to myself, well, you didn't execute fully, but you
took some profits.
You took some profit.
But I mean, so talk to me a little bit about your bags, right? So in what order do you have BTC, Sol, Ray, and a few other tokens? Is it what order, and which ones have you been taking profit on, and which ones are you still holding quite a lot? I know you have Mog and stuff as well.
Yeah, so biggest bags, Bitcoin, followed by Sol, followed by stables, followed by Ray. And then we've got Meg, Mog and Pepe. Shut up, Meg. In there as well, which are and Brainlet. Shout out to Brainlet. Still got a bit in there. Shaved a nice chunk out of Brainlet on that pump.
Yeah.
Thank fuck I did.
Yeah.
That pulled back hard, man. Soul memes, just can't resist 40% pullbacks, man.
Oh, dude, they can't. And that's it. Sure, you can, I top lost in a chill guy yesterday and still made a 2x in a couple of hours. It's just crazy at 110 million. But like you say, I think de-risking is a important part of crypto. We're moving into a part where we are getting very frothy. You're seeing TikTok metas take off. You're seeing normies come in. You're seeing this dude who I've followed previously as a Forex trader. What's his name? DJT Trades, I think his name is. So he's viral on, I'll try to find a tweet. He's viral on, here he is. So he's viral on Instagram and stuff for making a lot of money as a trader in traditionally Forex and stuff. But now him as one of the most sort of reputable persons and social media presences in that aspect, he's starting to go viral around meme coins now. So we're very much starting to see this absolute, whether you want to call it TradFi, whether you want to actually call it day traders in stocks and those sorts of things really go, okay, I'm sure he's traded a lot of crypto as well, like mainly majors, but now you're seeing people like this switch on and go, okay, meme coins are so lucrative. We're seeing Chill Guy go to 200 million in 2 days. We're seeing Peanut go to 1.5 billion in 2 weeks. Like, that's where the money is. So this guy's starting to go pretty crazy viral as well. But these are the sorts of signs, Craig, as well as your friends starting to message you. And like, I've been getting messages from family and friends saying, Greeny, you'd be busy at the moment. I said, you have no idea, my friend. You have no idea. So it's like little things like that you really need to go, okay, maybe I am still quite heavily exposed to this market. Maybe I need to move some into USD or obviously USDC and hodl that or move it into fiat, get it off the exchanges, actually put it in the bank, those sorts of things. So this is a really good question because this is kind of what we're talking about, right? Is, hey guys, do you rotate your BTC into alts or memes for this cycle, or keeping them buy back low and lower prices? So Craig, you go first.
Yep. So my BTC profits I'm taking, I'm not going to put them really back into alts and memes. Another lesson I learned last cycle is when you take profits out, be careful about putting them back in.
Yes.
Because you can get caught up in this perpetual cycle of constantly buying the dip, and eventually there'll be no one else joining you on buying the dip. So once again, this stage of the cycle, I feel we're sort of in the second half of the Super Bowl at the moment. Second half, almost, I dare say, approaching third quarter. I don't want to sound too alarmist, but I just mean I just tell myself that I hustle more. But at the moment, my BTC profits are going into stables. That was always the end game. Admittedly, I am open to using some of that profit, maybe 10% into, say, if I think there's an opportunity out there, like if there was an ordinal mint I was bullish on and I wanted to spend a bit more than I was comfortable with, or things. So I'm open to it. I would possibly buy some of my favorite alts at a big discount.
Yeah.
But personally, myself, I've been getting in position so long now, I feel like I don't really need to.
Yeah.
I feel like to buy 30% pullback on an alt now, I just feel I don't need to add to my risk. I'm happy. I've got big enough bags in my alts, and I really would rather now see at this stage of the cycle my stablecoin bag grow. This is when that should grow.
Yeah, I think that's well said, and I agree. I think I'm very much in the camp of the same. Like, I've been in here since April 23, so for me, there's no point. Like, why would I buy dips now? Like, I think your risk to reward at levels like this, sure, we might get still a nice 2x or 3x on Sol, whatever it is, maybe a 5x on MOG, those sorts of things. But like, I'm de-risking. I'm selling back to fiat, probably putting it in the bank and reevaluating my whole life. Thinking about getting into property, thinking about, putting X amount into the stock market, just having that as passive income. Like, there's so many different ways to go about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I probably might keep a bit of Bitcoin, and I might I'll start buying Bitcoin again as we start to go down in 26 or end of 2025. But right now, I think for me, it's get it all, pay your debts, and then go back and reevaluate. Now, in saying that, I still will be a very active trader. I'll obviously have X amount on leverage exchanges. I'll still have X amount probably on chain and Sol, or maybe in USD, and I'll just switch across when I want to trade into some memes, because I think that's where you definitely want to be spending some time in the market as well.
Yeah, totally agree. That's a good way to look at it as well. Meme coins, like we've seen with Chill Guy, and then if you can catch the right meta, the ability to stack Sols, fucking unbeatable at the moment.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the thing you got to remember at the end of the day. Like, we're seeing Solana still outperform. Like, we can take a look at it. Like, and this is, before we move on to that, I wanted to touch base on this. Like, this is just crazy, right? BTC dominance is continuing to go up. So for me, like, this is imperative. And like, traditionally what you see is BTC top out before you see alt and meme coins. And that was a question earlier on the chat. But what we're looking at is very overextended. We've been here for a while, but I mean, look at this. Like, we could stay up here, guys, for literally 6 months. And this is on the weekly. So for me, this could, like, we could rally all the way up to 72%, 70% before we actually see an altcoin pullback. Now, ideally, you want to get there sooner rather than later, because then that's better for your meme coins, that's better for your altcoins. But this is definitely something to be aware of. So if we rotate to BTC Sol, this is really interesting, right? So we had this breakout last week. We're currently retesting it right now. This is when Sol rallied to like 244. And what we're seeing is that with retesting, you've still got momentum pushing towards the upside, okay? But we are starting to see, okay, BTC dominance pump a little bit more. So maybe this is a fake out. This is definitely probably still a very important chart to keep an eye on, because if this goes up, then obviously it's better to kind of be in Solana. If it goes down, you probably should be favoring your Bitcoin bags. This chart looks absolutely horrible. So this is your ETH first BTC chart.
Yeah, shit, it just gets worse and worse every time we stream.
I actually think I'm gonna, like, I still hold my pudgy, but I think I'm gonna de-risk some of my ETH again here. Put it back into Sol, because like if you look here as well, right? This is the Sol versus ETH chart. Like we are still, Sol looks very strong here. Like momentum is still very high on the high time frames. Like if we look up here, like we still are well above the pivot level on the weekly. So it likely continues for a little bit longer. But it's really interesting seeing that, right? Because I genuinely would have thought that ETH maybe at least attempted to bounce here. We did. We saw a bit of resistance and support there, but we're going low. We haven't been this low since March 2021. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Fuck. Yeah, just before I entered in February 21. So that's
cool. And I mean, you're still setting lower lows and lower highs.
Baby Craig was buying Ethereum back then. How good.
Oh, dude, I was buying Ether. Yeah, $80. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's been an interesting lesson, the Ethereum this run, hasn't it? Even for me, like, and I mean, even for me, but I'm the same as you, man. You and me got into Ether about a couple of weeks ago. We had a little bounce, and I kind of thought, okay, we're on now. And then it just shows you kind of sometimes if it's a narrative for this run, you fucking can't fight it. Narrative,
yeah, yeah.
I was kind of trying to hedge against the narrative with ETH. You probably were to a certain degree.
Yeah, of course.
Just because we were so heavy and Sol, I was kind of like, fuck, I'll put a little bit there in ETH just so I don't get fucking caught out.
Yeah.
Just hasn't happened.
No, and that's it. But you got to take take risk to reward trades like that, and it was the right decision at the right time. But like you said, it's interesting, right? Like we are like this goes way lower in my opinion. It goes way lower. Like, but we are very overextended as well on the week. Like we're seeing Sol and BTC up here in dominance, but like ETH has got to find a bottom here soon. Like this is the lowest it's nearly ever been on the stochastic momentum since 2019. So that's pretty crazy.
What is going on, man?
That's pretty crazy. But you can't fade it. Like, I mean, like someone just said, Sol is the ETH killer. Not necessarily. I still believe in ETH in long-term, as a long-term asset. Like you look at TradFi, look at institutional wealth, they're building on Ethereum's blockchain, right? Or their layer twos. So you can't fight that. They've obviously got ETF approval as well. So that brings in a lot of liquidity and those sorts of stuff as well. So very interesting times, But yeah, those charts are the ones I'm keeping an eye on. But as you can see over on the side, guys, alts are bleeding, except for ADA.
Yeah. Bro, XRP and what's the XLM's fucking pumping?
The old ones are pumping. I mean, Ray's still holding up here.
All the banking coins, all the ISO coins, Hedera hash graphs pumping. I had a few normie friends message me going, how's your Hedera bags? I'm like, fuck, Hedera bags? I haven't been in that since 21, man. I was like, zoom out, brother. You're down about fucking 900%. But
that's it. And that's it. People don't ever think about that, hey?
But I must admit, good on you, XRP. You're back. Do you know what was real funny? I had my dad. I've got some crypto I was trading for my dad in 21. And we've still got it now because obviously I didn't fucking sell the P.
Yeah.
And even he messaged me on Monday going, so I see the crypto market's heating up, Craig. How's those sales going? So if my dad, who's 70, seeing crypto on the news, man, if my dad's seeing that, everyone's seeing it, man, because he's he doesn't see anything like that.
No, exactly. And that's what, like, so many people starting to come here, guys. Like, and that's what, like, if you start to see that sort of stuff, that's when you want to be, okay, thinking about what your exit strategy is. So focusing more on that, that's for sure.
I mean, everyone remember we're meant to be selling to retail, not buying with them. So admittedly, buy with them on the strong meta, sure, but we really should be exchanging hands here, not joining them for kumbaya.
No.
It's dump on heads time, man.
In saying that though, Craig, like there are some meme coins that I am potentially looking at getting into, like something like PopCat here at a nice pullback is not a bad sort of area to maybe think about seeing it. Okay, like I mean, like you could use the fibs, guys, from the swing low there or the ultimate low from there, but If you look here, right? Oh my God, all my fibs have changed. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Hold on. Let me fiddle with
It's
this.
offensive, eh?
It's
Mine's
disgusting.
horrendous.
Get off there. Like it's all these cache, all the caches. Like if you reset them, then they bloody reset everything.
It's annoying. I'm starting to think about getting some of those mid-cap memes you and me have been speaking about on Sol are starting to get my attention now, because I didn't ride those with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like I might get a second chance on some of these. What's your thoughts, Greeny? I mean, other Giga's copping a hard time, huh?
Yeah.
Not to take you off PopCap, but is Giga, what's the FUD? Is there FUD around there?
Well, there was that whale that got hacked, right? And then someone dumped into it, and then that obviously created a lot of FUD. Then there was obviously the cluster FUD as well, but it turns out they had just the marketing was in there. But you can't. This is why someone like Murad is pumping his bags, but people need to look past that, and they actually need to have some process of tools, some process of understanding of how to see what a trend is like, and using simple TA is why trading will always outperform someone that believes in their bags. Sure, if you're a believer, and you're a believer from down here in the single digits, or here in this block of liquidity here, you can believe from there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I bought here at 130 mil, so I still am up. I'm still up.
I wonder what the 900 million buyer believers are like at the moment. I wonder if they still believe.
But this looks so horrible, Craig. Like this looks horrible. Like you break that trend and bang, you're down. And so I think if you get somewhere down here, that's an absolute steal. We'll watch to see the level here at the 618 because it's just very interesting, right? And this is the other one as well. Down to 450. So my stop loss would have triggered already. But guys, you cannot.
Similar charts, Greeny. Those aren't even dissimilar. And you said Giga had a hack. What's SPX's excuse?
I think SBX had
another hack as well.
Yeah, no, I think, but it's just like you can't argue with lack of strength, guys. And you got to remember, look at this. Like even if you take it from there to the top, it ran 23x in 18 days. Of course, it needs to cool off. I want to know with Murad, what's he doing? What's he doing on that moment there? Is he trading? He's not a trader. He's a believer, mate. And so he got in obviously very early. So his cost basis is way down here, right?
I mean,
so
he effectively sent that chart, didn't he?
Exactly. That's why he is fine. However, the millions of people that followed him into this pump, you are not fine. You are the ones that are getting wrecked right now because someone shilled it to you at all-time highs. Someone doesn't use trading to simply understand where a bearish trend starts to go down, where a bullish trend starts to fade, and it does change into a bearish trend. This is why I do what I do. This is why we do what we do, Craig. We trade because you look at something like this and you go, yeah, that's going way lower. And sure enough, it's going lower.
It's interesting how that sort of pocket genre of memes, e.g. the Murad memes, follow a certain chart pattern, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas PopCat looked structurally so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't shill it directly, right? He didn't shill it directly. And that's so important to remember at the end of the day, that he has it in his top bags, same as Mog. He still has it in his top bags, but it's not one that he was going, yeah, this is the top one. Like Giga and SBX are his absolute, like, yeah, this is what I am. But like, this is what I'm talking about, guys. He is missing these billion-dollar trades at the moment. He's missing Peanut. He's missing Goat. He's missing like Chill Guys. He's missing all these metas that we've been trading because he's just bag holding these ones that he's shilling on the timeline for ages. So you gotta like being a trader is so much. It's at least use some sense of trading, right?
Yeah.
At least use some sense of trading. So I don't know. Like this looks like it probably wants to go low as well. And the really interesting thing, I put a tweet out earlier. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I want to just look at holders scan, right? Because a lot of people go, oh, Greeny, but holders are still going up. Okay, a couple of things. And here's a classic example. SPX holders are still going up. Now, why are they going up, but price is going down? Craig, tell me your thesis on that. Because so many people get this wrong.
Man, I don't have a great thesis on that. I mean, I'm a suspicious kind of person, so I don't know if guys are fucking spreading a bit of dust to different wallets to make holders look like they're going up or prices going down. That's what I'd do if I was a big holder, man. Yeah. I'd send tokens around and spread the perception that holders are going up, or more people are entering on the dip. But man, I'm suspicious about holders going up while that's going down.
pretty much you nailed it, right? You are seeing two things. Whales are taking profit and the new buyers aren't matching the amount of liquidity that's leaving the token. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing is new wallets might be exactly part of a marketing scheme from SBX team, part of some of the whales to spread liquidity across to show, oh, look at the demand, look at the demand, even though it's still very much in a cluster of 10 or 20 wallets that own the majority of the supply, right? However, they're quickly spreading their liquidity to show, oh no, we're still seeing new buyers coming in. So those two factors, right, show you that holders going up isn't the dial and rely on indicator for you to know whether a meme coin is going to go up as well. So always be aware of that. Always be aware of it. It's a great tool to use. It's a great swing trade tool to use when you're looking at charts, but always understand that price shows you everything.
Yeah.
And so many people forget that price shows you everything. And often price actually shows you things ahead of time.
Yeah.
Ahead of the news, ahead of the hype.
It can be a leading indicator on what's the thought on no, I can't think of the word. I've been trying to explain this. I've got a friend, he's probably tuning in now. And I've been trying to explain that to him because obviously when you first come to the space with meme coins, you know, jump in the Telegram. And when you go into Telegram, I've explained to him, look, that's the cheerleader, that's the hype section, right? That's where you're going to get the most bullish for a project. But I said, be very careful going in there. I said, rather go to the chart. The chart's just about going to tell you everything you need to know. And it doesn't matter if you're in the Telegram and they're like, we're going to get a Binance listing maybe, and you're going to get that. Look, we've all heard that, right? I've heard that in every coin I've ever been in, first of all. Second of all, you go to the chart. If you went to SPX, that doesn't scream Binance listing. And even if Binance has been rumored, I'd still follow the chart rather than the rumor. So that's something I'm trying to drum into his head. Look at this like the newspaper. So I wake up every morning and I check charts, and that's my newspaper.
Exactly. Because price shows you everything. Price shows you everything.
You can't lie in the price, bro. That's just black and white.
No, so it's really interesting because we are starting to see some levels where I am very tempted to start looking. And this is the other thing. People asked earlier, Greeny, like, what are you doing right now? I would much rather long using stables on these particular high cap meme coins rather than actually buy them in spot, because I feel like that's more of a risk. With a leveraged futures trade, even if it's on 2x leverage or 3x leverage, really small, you're at least you've got invalidation and you can stick to that, right? Whereas with spot, if you're buying here, where's your invalidation there? Like, you are bag holding it a little bit longer. You run the risk that it goes like this more than just a simple trade. So that's something that I'm definitely considering at the moment as well.
Another thing for people out there while these dips are going on, and this is something I spoke to my friend about as well, and it's something I've gone through, sort of you sort of go through paralysis sometimes on dips. I don't know, Greeny, for you, when you were fresh into trading, you felt that. But certainly I still get it now, whereas if you cop a big dip like that, you can kind of get paralyzed, whereby so that's what I guess what I'm trying to get at is have a plan. And this is something you've taught me, have an invalidation level whereby you will cut a trade. Because what can happen if you don't cut a trade is you can end up running it down 90% versus getting out at a 30% loss, protecting 70% of your capital to then reinvest at the bottom. So that's something Greeny's taught me a lot, and that's something I was poor at earlier in the run, is knowing analysis paralysis. Exactly right. Is have your invalidation levels, and not only have them, stick to them. It's one thing to have a plan, but you got to fucking execute it. Because I've been there before, and it dips, and you've got your plan, and you go, and you get caught up in that. No, it'll come back, and so anyway, make a plan, guys, for when moments like that happen, because you can get paralyzed in the moment and end up fucking losing 90%.
Another one, Craig, that we haven't looked at for a while, Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Shinu, Inu, Shinu, blah, blah, blah. Let me pull that one up. So this is like, I mean, I was still in from like 123 is when we got in. But if I'm looking here, we're
still up. I've been holding this. I shaved a bit of profit off this, actually. Thank fuck.
You got to do that, I think.
But it still hasn't. This coin still hasn't really done what we want, has it?
No. So de-risking here is not a bad idea if you think it's going to go lower. I suppose, like, you got to remember, guys, like, are these meme coins actually going to come back? Are these large caps going to come back? I don't know.
And they won't all necessarily come back. I guess XRP in that pumping at the moment shows you just about everything can come back. I'd also say to people, for those, the laggers that are out there, the coins that haven't performed, if and when they do start to seem, definitely shave some off, guys, because you may not get a second pump.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting times, I think. We are seeing potential opportunities, but I would much rather, like I said before, swing trade something like this than actually look for some actual plays with spot. I think holding spot around now with these sorts of plays is probably a bit risky in my opinion. Like, I mean, we are seeing, we're still seeing like this is probably down as well. Yeah, Ponky got to like 400 mil yesterday. Yeah, look at this. It went to 600 mil. Like, that's what I mean. Like, we got in at 160 mil again. But I mean, I missed this dip because I missed it. I was busy doing in the trenches. And this is what I mean. Like, you can get those wicks up to that level. It obviously got to about 475. It's also down 150 mil sort of play. So it's interesting times, guys. It's interesting times. Interesting times.
Steve asked the question, how long do you think it'll take for SBF till it goes up? I don't know if you want to bring up that chart, Greenie. But I think your answer to that would be just go as per the fib levels and look for your entries. Don't worry about time so much, but look for where it goes down to. And that may take 1 day, 3 months, 6 months.
That's it. I agree with what Craig just said. So for me, right, let me just change this up a little bit because that's the trend now that we've obviously broken the dotted lines. And now we've obviously kind of got this trend. Okay. So the new trend is this resistance over line. Okay. So that's your level of resistance there. And basically you could say this is technically a bull wedge. So I'd maybe want to see something happening here soon. You could probably take it out a little bit wider if you wanted to, but that's where the trend really starts to change there. Now, what you might see here is a wick down to this level, okay? A double bottom like this, like that could be a really good play, but pretty much I'm targeting that 352 million as a really good entry on SBX. But anywhere in this wedge here is probably not a bad play. Like even here, it's a bit risky, obviously, but you could probably say your stop loss is below the 618. And then if you're retargeting the all-time highs, that's still a good risk to reward entry of 3.7. So something like that is starting to interest me as a swing trade. And like it's always, and this is, we spoke about this for months, Craig. When do you buy? You buy when there's fear. When do you sell? You sell when there's greed. It's just so simple. And if you keep it simple like that, you won't be an emotional trader.
Yeah, completely right. And it's starting to, you can sort of start to feel the fear come in, in the groups, like, for instance, people saying things like, fuck, I should have taken fucking profit.
Yep.
That's a buy signal for me.
That is, that's the level I go.
It's just such a counter trade. It's so weird how you've almost got to be a schizophrenic to do this well. You've got to argue with yourself. And when you feel euphoric, it's sell. And when you feel fucking bad about when it feels bad to sell, sell. And when it feels bad to buy, buy.
Yeah, 100%. And like you can use that, right? It's the, let me pull it up. Alternative me. There it is. You can use this site, right, as a really simple indicator. So like it still says we're in greed. It still says we're in extreme greed. So if we look at max, like we are reaching the level where like we've said on the show, we're reaching level where I start to go, okay, that we're at the pointy end here. Now, don't get me wrong. We could have another pointy end in 2025. However, we're reaching at a level where, okay, maybe it's time to de-risk some of my portfolio. If I see dips in the market, maybe I'll look to swing trade them rather than buy spot, because your risk is too much now. It's too much right now. And if you look here, guys, traditionally, when we get above that 90 level, how long do we last there? Look at this. Once in 2019, we lasted here for about 3 months in 2021. So that wasn't even the all-time highs of 2021. November was the all-time highs of 2021 down here. So we didn't even get to extreme greed in 2021's all-time highs. This was that first pump. And then look, in March earlier this year, guys, when everyone was extremely euphoric, when BTC got to 74K then, where'd we get to? 79. So the fact we're reaching very close to that high 90, sort of 80, high 80s, low 90 region, it's time. It's time to really lock in because potentially this market might not last longer than 6 months.
Yeah, that's a really good chart, if you want to call it that, isn't it? That says a lot for me.
Yeah. So
shows you how quick the time is, isn't it? It's there's a moment. There's only a few months, like you said in 21. It was about 3 months that we sat there. We can sit there for months, but months doesn't take long to go by, man.
No, exactly. And it looks like, okay, so while we're live on the show, guys, actually, it looks like alts are starting to bounce now.
Nice.
It looks like BTC might be slowing down a little bit
after we funded it hard enough, eh?
Yeah, and alts are starting to come down. But like this is maybe a really good, like if you're a low cap trader, you'd be looking at potentially some longs on some of these low time frames, right? On Sol or something like that. But I mean, this is still very risky. Like that's the 4 hour. Like look at the daily. Like some of these have to cool down for a bit. Some of these have to cool down.
I took quite a lot of profit, or not a lot, but a chunk off at 240.
Yeah, you know what? I might actually sell a bag here too. I've got a lot of Sol. I don't know.
I'm just saying close to all-time high. Fuck it. Like
at least take some off the tables. Yeah, I know.
10% off, and I felt good about it. So now I almost want alts to pull back, so I feel like a legend. No, they actually really did, so I'm kind of happy. But now I want alts to send as much as everyone else, because the reality is, when alts rip, everyone's going to take profit and hopefully start to put it in other things, e.g. NFTs, ordinals, and things like that. So it's healthy for the space for this to send.
So, Craig, let's talk about that, because I bought a Pudgy. Obviously, we were all aware of that.
I think you're up to 12 ETH now, man.
Yeah, so we are dipping. I
think you're up like 3 ETH now. Oh,
yeah. So it hit 12.5 yesterday, and I assumed it was going to dip. Like, obviously, they've got abstract and a few other things. My target for a Pudgy is still a bit higher. I'm targeting that 15 to 20 ETH range.
Nice.
Before I look to maybe scale out of my position, but. Like I'm up still. Like I bought in at my Pudgy wasn't at floors, it was 9 ETH, but the floor at the time was 8.4, so it's still up 3.2 ETH from when I bought. So like that's like 10 to 15 grand or something more. I don't know, something like that. So
it's a good amount of money, man.
Exactly. So but like when you start to see these sorts of collections run, like we're pulling back on the daily, but over the week we're up 20%. Pudgy's up 23, Milady's up 16, Bored Ape's up 20, Little Pudgy's up 24%. We see Punk's back over 100K. People are gonna flaunt their wealth, right? And so I tried to get ahead of that with the Pudgy buy, so I'm grateful for that. But it's really interesting because, like you just said, I'm sure people will start to go buy some of these assets, or like a BTC puppet, or all of those sorts of things, right? Like that's where you want to be thinking about maybe getting into a trade before people start to get over there.
Hey, speaking of NFTs, Doodles, Doodles and McDonald's.
That's a pretty good collab. Hey, like, I mean, Doodles are...
McDonald's is pretty big, man.
But they didn't pump. Now, they pumped a little bit, but the reason for it is because unlike Pudgies, where there's a real IP play, where there's a real understanding that the business does thrive around the NFT itself, Doodles, they pretty much came out and said, nah, we don't even care about the NFT. Even though that's literally where they made all their money from and made their name from, and it's very disappointing. Very.
I completely agree. I mean, collabs like with McDonald's are brilliant for exposure for crypto as a whole for all of us, and all of us get a win from that. But the holders of the NFT, man, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, when are we going to get a fucking win out of this shit, man? You got McDonald's on the books, hook us up.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, you're starting to see some good pullbacks on even ordinals as well right now.
Pull back a touch too.
0.14, and like runes are starting to pull back a bit, and they've been on an absolute tear over the past sort of couple of weeks as well. So
I've seen a 20% pullback. I mean, we hit 2 billion market cap yesterday, the day before, and we pulled back to 1.8 now. So we've got a 20% pullback across the board. I sold pups and dog. Into that pump. I mean, puppets hit all-time high just about, or pups close to. And thank fuck I did, because as you can see there, nothing pulls back like runes, man. Actually, no, I take that back. Soul memes pull back pretty hard too, but
they do.
Fucking unforgiving.
They do. So Craig, talk to me. Have you been in the trenches? Because that's obviously where the money is. That's where we're seeing a lot of gains happen. Have you been? I know you were in the group yesterday a little bit more actively.
I started to get my flow on yesterday. I haven't got my hands real dirty, but I did yesterday in your group. I was kind of fucking around. There were some good calls. There was a couple of 2-3Xs. There was a couple of break evens. There was a couple of losses. I wouldn't call it a terrific day for me, but some of the guys in the group were killing it, dudes. There was one of your members got a fucking 180x, man.
Yeah, Puma. Shout out to Puma. He's been
fucking hell. I think that was a month play in the making, but doesn't matter. 108x. Wow.
Oh, yeah. So no, we printed on this one yesterday. So we were buying this at 100K, guys. It's obviously dumped now because all meme coins do dump. But this is, I had to go to bed, but as you can see, it ran all the way to 6 million after. Otherwise, I would have taken a lot of profits.
It's a nice play. That's a good play, finance.
Yeah, this is at about 2 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, there's no way I'm staying up for this. I'll take all my profits. But yeah, like we got in at 100K. So like that's that. I don't know what the math is on that, but like if you're getting in at 100K, my average buy is about 110K, I think.
Back.
So if you time that, that's a 58x, right? So if you're in the trenches, you have the time, you can definitely do it. And like I did here, I was taking a lot of profit. So, I mean, I could have made more money, but again, it was late at night and I wanted to go to bed. Got to go to bed. So, but if you can find a trend like this, where you know that the meme is very famous, you know, it's very like going to skyrocket, you can make some absolute printing money, right? And just set your limit orders, set a high priority fee, set a high bribery, and hope it hits during the night. If you do want to hold it overnight, traditionally, I don't like to hold overnight. I've always woken up to more. Like, I mean, I woke up, what, a couple of hours ago? What's the time? 3 hours ago.
You would have got smoked, dude.
Yeah, so 3 hours ago, it's like, we're about hit. So, I mean, it's, yeah. Like, I miss all of that. I miss all of that. Sexy, I hope you made it back home, mate. I hope you made it back to Sweden all good.
The bot yesterday, Bull-X was trying to almost smash my fucking screen, man. I was trying to get out because I was trying to get out at profit and I fucking couldn't. And I'm on the 30-second chart trying to sell. Obviously, everyone else is at the same time. And while I'm trying to sell the candles, man, I'm like,
oh, dude, it was wild. It was wild.
Anyway, but, we'll run things.
That's it. And so, I don't know, Craig, there's probably not too much else we wanted to cover today. We could speak a little bit about Oz CryptoCon because that's this weekend.
Yep.
We're both obviously flying down to Sydney tomorrow. I believe we should be able to make it to the Pudgy event tomorrow afternoon, as long as our flights and everything go well. Are you excited for that, mate? Excited? Like, we haven't even met in person yet, so that'll be great.
No, I am excited for it. Yeah, I get in around, I think, 2 p.m. or something like that. Yeah, I'm excited. Like we said, I haven't been to a crypto event. I know. Well, I've been to a meetup before, but not a big event like this. So that'll be cool. Be good to meet you finally in person. It'll be good to maybe meet a few other people there. Obviously, as you've mentioned before, I'm a pretty big fan of the Pizzino brothers. I like their content, so that might be cool. If I had the opportunity to shoot the shit with them, maybe not. But man, other than that, I just want to kind of soak up the atmosphere and kind of be able to see where crypto's in Australia. Just look at what we're doing, and I just can't wait to soak it up, man. I love the space. I'm like you. I'm just happy to sit back and and soak it all up and see what it's about. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm super pumped. Like, I got asked to speak. I think that's
it's so good.
I mean, I gotta probably prepare for that actually. So I'll pull that up just to show you guys. But outside that,
what I think, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. So this is me over here. So pumped to be joining Evan and Liam. Obviously, Liam's the marketing guy at Binance Australia. But Evan has 460,000 followers on Twitter. So I'm sure he's got a lot of knowledge to come with. So pretty much I'm taking the stance of why it's having an active trader mindset is great. So, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll definitely shill that I'm a hodler. Don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna talk more from the perspective of small wallet traders or people that are getting into the market. Like all of the people that we deal with, Craig. Like, they can't just buy Bitcoin and expect big gains, right? People don't have that sort of liquidity, that income in different ways, right? So I'll elaborate on where is the opportunity. How can you trade like tokenized events, right? That's news. That's meme coins. That's the opportunity for anyone with $10, with $100, with $1,000 to trade and get into the market. So if you are going to be at Oz CryptoCon, guys, there you go. Binance Theater, 23rd. So that's on Saturday, day 1. 2:55. I'll be speaking with Evan and Liam as well. So that'll be fun. But yeah, Craig will be in the crowd. I might have to get Craig to record it so I can
I'll film it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to show my friends and stuff. So that'd be sick. But yeah, guys, obviously, let us know. Like, send us a DM if you're going to be down there. We're more than happy to link up. I know a few GTG members are going to be there too, so that'll be amazing to connect with them as well. But outside that, guys, Sexy says to enjoy your trip. Oh, man, I'm pumped. Mike's going to be down there, so that'd be sick to see Mike. I think we'll do a bit of a vlog. I don't know how crazy to go with the vlog. I don't know. I'll have to have a think. It's like
how crazy to go with it.
Yeah, like do you do classic cringe stuff, or do you like just kind of like it's interesting which way you could take it? Like, you could do like, I don't know, this different way. What do you think?
Depends what you mean by cringe, but I think it's just nice to do a fly on the wall thing.
I think, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Probably a balance, right?
Nothing. For me personally, I'm not. I don't think I'll take on a new persona or anything like that. But,
no, that's not what I was saying.
But I'm all for a pair of pit vipers on and a bucket hat on and fucking having a good time, man. I think it'll be nice to show people, give them a good experience, but give them a real experience. And whether it's good or bad, bring it on. I'll have a couple of beers. I'll have a good time. I don't know if the people watching will have a good time, but I will.
No, it'd be great. And that's the thing. Like, we'll try and vlog. I've got this camera, so I need to work out. Like, I probably need to test that all this afternoon. But yeah, it'd be good to like vlog like the whole event, like the whole weekend. Unfortunately, it looks like we won't get on the super yacht on Sunday night. But to get that, you had to pay a shit ton of money to get on that ticket.
That's right. We'll have a good time with
We'll have a good time with friends and stuff as well. So no, super keen to connect with you, obviously, Craig and Mike and so many other people out there. So excited about that one. But otherwise, guys, thanks for watching today. Shorter stream today. Market's kind of pulling back. There's some opportunities out there. We still got to do some jobs. So that's why I've got to cut it short today. But yeah, we'll be back again next Tuesday. Again, I got a shorter one next Tuesday because I got to link up with SwiftX actually and do a podcast with them, which should be exciting on Tuesday next week. But yeah, we'll be back next week, guys. Obviously, you'll see probably lots of content from us over the weekend at OzCryptoCon. Less trading, but more content, which is kind of cool. Different way, different perspective. Nice to take a break from the charts and those sorts of things.
It'll be nice just to soak in the space rather than hustle.
Yeah, and like you can still lock in at times. Like I'm sure I'll probably get back to the unit or the hotel at night, and I might even do some live streams. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'll bring my laptop so I can do the same and sort of connect with people.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Anyways, Craig, thanks again for joining me today.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to get a haircut before Sydney. I look like a fucking hobo. So.
All right, peace, guys. See you in OzCryptoCon in Sydney. Cheers, guys.